Spin putting is the superior putting form. Here's what I mean. Spin putting has a higher ceiling of potential and gives you a greater chance of making more putts out on the disc golf course. Hey everybody, what is up? It's Antonio and welcome to another episode here on Gladiator Disc Golf. I'm so excited. Today is day 7, 1 week through the 30-day challenge of 30 videos in 30 days. I love spin putting. It's something I've really embraced the last half year or so, and I've really seen a lot of growth in my game, and I want to see the same kind of growth in your game. So let's go ahead and let's break down some spin putts. The first thing about a spin putt is that you want to bring the disc up into your gut. So what you have to do, whether you're in a straddle stance or a staggered stance, is dropping it low and scooping the disc up into your gut and your chest. That's going to help give you a lot of power and momentum. It's a circular motion. Think of like digging your hand in while swimming kind of thing, or getting some dirt or sand at the beach. The next part of the spin putt is to extend the hand and the arm out. You want to get full extension because you're coiling into your gut and your chest. The only way you're going to get all the power that you're preparing for with your lower body and by digging in is to fully extend that hand and that arm out. The best way to spin putt is to keep the disc flat or have just a hair of hyzer. The reason you would add just a little bit of hyzer is that because the disc is coming out with speed and it's coming out with spin, it can oftentimes flip up to flat depending on the distance of your putt, maybe even get a little bit of turn. We see it on coverage all the time. Keeping the disc flat, adding just a little bit of hyzer is not an issue with a spin putt. Something to keep in mind is that just because you're bringing the disc down like this does not mean that it's going to come out on that severe degree of hyzer. So if you find yourself going sort of hyzer angle down to load the disc on the spin putt, it's going to come out flat pretty naturally. Spin putting's pretty cool, right? But what's even cooler is if you went and liked this video and subscribed so that you can find out the next time a video comes out, which will be tomorrow. Let's go ahead and let's get back to it. So that's how you spin putt. Pretty simple, right? Now there are definitely a lot of pros to the spin putt, and we'll get to those in just a second, but there are some cons as well. One of the challenges with the spin putt is that your miss tends to be left or right. You rarely miss high or low, unless of course you just did not give the disc enough power to get to the basket. Additionally, because the disc is coming out with a lot more speed and is much flatter, if you miss and don't hit anything, your misses tend to be bigger. Instead of a comebacker putt of 3 to 10 feet, you might have a comebacker putt of 15 to 18 feet. And because of some of these reasons, I would argue that the spin putt is not exactly beginner friendly. Putting is really hard for beginners. A spin putt is typically not the easiest way to learn putting, but there are obviously plenty of benefits for the spin putt. First things first, it doesn't matter how far away you are from the basket, you can realistically putt. Obviously, we're not talking a 300-foot putt here, but we're talking even from 100, 120 feet away. As you dial in your spin putt, you can attempt a putt from that distance because you don't need a big ceiling. And that's the second benefit to the spin putt. Because your miss is not high or low, you typically don't need to have a large ceiling in order to execute a deeper putt. You can keep the disc pretty much on the same height regardless of your distance. One thing I have found that's great about the spin putt is that it almost doesn't matter the kind of wind you're facing. We talked about in the last video dealing with windy conditions. A lot of those principles actually apply to your putt as well. So if you're facing a headwind, tailwind, crosswind, the best way to negate the wind's effect on your putt is to keep the putter nice and flat. So I want to know, do you spin putt? If so, let me know your experience down below. And come back tomorrow where we'll talk about push putting. Because let's be honest, everybody has to push putt at some point. And we'll dive into that more tomorrow.